Good morning. It's me, Pearl, and from Pearl and the Prayers, and this is Tuned In Tarot. Thank you for joining me. We're here to look at the balance between the divine masculine and divine feminine energies inside of ourselves, understanding that whatever state we see this energy in, we can expect to find that reflected back to us in our interactions with others, in our external environment, in our ability to create the lives that we want. It's really has to do with us shifting the energy inside. So on Wednesdays, looks like I'm not going to be able to speak today. On Wednesdays, we focus on obstacles that we have that we need to remove, or blocks or barriers, however you want to look at that. And so we're going to do that today. We read the head space and the heart space at the same time. And I think we'll start with divine feminine today because I'm leaning in that direction. And I'm dreading the divine masculine side. Not gonna lie. Okay. Not been a good morning. Top of the deck for divine feminine, head space and heart space. This would be the general energy surrounding the block that the divine feminine has at this time. We have, interestingly, the Six of Wands in the head space and the King of Wands in reverse in the heart space. The Six of Wands, I'm really feeling this is about the fact that there's victory for divine feminine in some aspects right now. She's publicly claimed her own victory. Let's put it this way. But it's her own. She's just by herself. She's enjoying the spoils of war, so to speak. This tower here is for me it's to the left side, so it's like the past tower that kind of crumbled and fell, and we're seeing her in this rebuilding process, and she has like the spoils of war. She has all the things she learned and gained when the tower crumbled. um she's very, I want to say, stable in this energy, but at the same time, we can't see her feet, and she appears to be a fairy and is floating. So there's this limbo where she hasn't quite touched down to the earth yet either. That's where she is in her headspace. And I do sense a loneliness in the energy. She looks glad in this image, um, but with that looming tower there in the background, this has been a hard won victory. So she feels pleased with herself for feeling in her power, feeling victorious. Um, but it's over this energy, which is this King of Wands energy. Now, the King of Wands in shadow is jealous, um, anger, wrath, reactive, not really taking time to consider actions and just, doing things willy nilly. And in some cases, not doing anything at all, not acting at all in any way, and having no communication. So, the energy surrounding the block, I think, is that divine feminine has overcome, she's victorious over this masculine energy that will not take action or speak. And the victory isn't the union. The victory is that she learned all of these valuable things from this silence and inaction. Um, Not only about herself, but also about the masculine energy. So this is what's generally kind of in her mind, and what energy she's just in at the moment. And the obstacle that she has right now in going forward, in the headspace, we have the Hermit in reverse, and in the heart space, we have the Four of Cups in reverse. So divine feminine's obstacle, I feel, is that she's having a hard time seeing herself as victorious because the victory feels a bit hollow. She's alone here. there's no one here watching. There's no one present. She's just by herself. So it feels like a hollow victory, and she's not quite seeing it in that light where it truly is that overcoming this inaction by this in this masculine side of self is going to propel her into a real future, not one that is just trapped in this fantasy. Her block is that she's been all alone, you know, observing this masculine energy dealing with this third party stuff. And here's her offer right here. And he's not even looking at it. So she's remained alone, waiting for this masculine energy to like see this light. And I think it's so interesting because I drew two different decks here, two drastically different decks I want to mention. And I have 4 total tarot cards or tarot decks that I'm using out of 20 I counted. I have 20 tarot. That's not including my oracles. And it's great because it allows me to get these sort of synchronicities that help me to see my own, I don't know, relationship I have with the divine to be able to pull these cards when I'm told. These are 2 totally different decks. This is the Star Spinner Tarot, and this is the Tarot of the Divine. And somehow the same divine masculine appears in both images, or a very similar one. There are multiple cultures that we see in these 2 decks. They honor all different types of cultures. I mean, look at this card. This is the same deck. This doesn't even have a personification. Incidentally, if you want to send me more decks so that we can have coincidences like this, there's a link down below that shows an Amazon wish list. And I do appreciate the cards I get sent for these very miracles we see. This is her block. A divine masculine who remains out of reach, who isn't seeing her, but is too busy with all this other stuff going on. She's blocked from moving forward by this feeling that what she has to offer isn't being seen or heard. Very relatable. I can relate this to my DM, and I can also relate this to my music, which I just put out and I'm very proud of and don't know how to get heard, you know. All right. Outside of you going to pearlsprayers.com, clicking get it here and streaming the hell out of my music and sending it to all your friends. Okay. The first placement for obstacles removed is, where did this block originate? In the headspace, we see the 8 of Wands in reverse. And in the heart space, we see Judgment. So divine feminines, this block of this divine masculine, not seeing her, not paying attention to her, not bringing her out of her hermit energy, just leaving her here alone to wait on him. No communication, right? We already saw that with the King of Wands in reverse. Nothing. It's not even here now. Stopped doing that a long while ago. But just no communication, no messages. And this judgment that she started to place upon herself. She started to search for the reasons why he wasn't doing anything. Sorry. By looking at everything that was wrong with herself. Which is, of course, Judgment is a reflection. It's a mirror. It's the card of absolution and salvation. It's about rebirth and reconciliation. The divine feminine feels that this block originates from something that's wrong with her, something that she did wrong, something she maybe hasn't fully forgiven herself for, or something she's imagined that's not even real, like because this is a fantasy. So things, because she can't, because divine masculine doesn't communicate, she has to create the reasons why he doesn't come forward when he seems to express that he will. So she, of course, has to find reasons for that. And if you have no information, you look outside of self. So she either looks at third party energy situations or she looks at her lack. What's wrong with her? How is this block currently manifesting in the 3D? Wow. In the headspace, we're seeing the Page of Pentacles. And in the heart space, we're seeing the Five of Pentacles. Now, in the headspace, we see her holding this offer and assessing it, and trying to find out if it's worthy or not, and feeling like it's not. Knowing she's good enough inside her head. But because she's still out in the cold, she is really feeling like she must be still unworthy, or she must still have unworthiness in herself to have this experience. And there's a lot of sadness, obviously, coming from that. I apologize for the emotion. I didn't expect this to happen. What actually, I unapologetically emote to you right now. Why should I apologize? These are the feelings divine feminine is having. What will help remove it? Oh. In the headspace, we see the Knight of Pentacles in reverse and the Nine of Wands upright in the heart space. So, headspace, we have this page energy. Look at this. And if they're next to each other, honestly, they're like this in my spread, right? No, like this. So their backs are to each other, and they're analyzing their worthiness. Divine masculine in the Knight of Pentacles energy, when it's upright, this is a slow, steady, reliable energy, and it moves very, very slowly. It's very methodical and plotting and protective. For the reversal, now divine masculine is facing her. There's no more slow moving energy. There's a swift moving energy coming from it. But we asked in this question, in this placement, what will remove it? And we are getting the Nine of Wands. So here we have a divine masculine, and it's kind of like, even though this is a reliable divine masculine, it's sort of like letting this solid, stable energy go and focus on healing the self and kind of being on your own. And I don't want to see this, so I'm sure none of you want to see that, especially since the obstacle is divine masculine leaving you alone, waiting. But the healing has to take place, because what has happened is the inaction of the divine masculine has caused you to question your own worth and judge yourself unworthy and assessed yourself as not being able to be brought in from the cold. And so you're trying to release this idea that this movement or this motion or lack of motion comes from you. You have to let those fears go. It's just fear. We can see like this devil energy here in these wands. It's just fear. And this is the story This is like a Russian fairy tale. And she's being kept prisoner by the witch that lives in this freaking chicken leg house thing, whatever the hell that is. Oh my god. The, the first time I was ever exposed to this myth was when I was in high school. My best friend and I used to love, we had discovered one night, late at night, um, Mystery Science Theater. And there was an episode of this Russian film that they were commentating on. And there's one part where this old man gets the girl and she's like with him and he's like, I like you, little girl. You're not contradictory at all. And then like the commentary at the bottom is like, yes, I am. So that's all I can think of. But but she's being held here and kept a prisoner. And in this way, this is exactly what the obstacle is, right? The slow moving energy of divine masculine is causing her to keep herself a prisoner. But she needs to heal the wounds where this slow moving energy she takes personally. She's definitely taking it less personally, or we wouldn't see her in this victory thing. But I'm crying as I'm reading the first few cards, so you know that this is like, and I'm crying more out of just that it's true. Like, not that I feel like, oh, I'm not worthy, because like fuck that. I know that I'm worthy, but like I wouldn't have the Six of Wands. But just that it's true that this situation comes from judging herself, like there must be something wrong with me, or else this person would just accept me the way that I am. And they would, they say they want to be with me. So if they're not doing that, it must be me, which is what we naturally do. And she just needs to heal that, not seeing that masculine energy as somehow about her. It's not. I'm looking at what it's about, and it's not you, divine feminine, but I think that hurts too. Because I think that underneath that, even though she knows, like, oh, I'm going to see, or I don't even need to see. I saw when I saw fucking cars this morning, and I was like, are you fucking serious, bro? Like, pfft. But there's still a sense that, like, well, if that is what he wanted to do, then it must be because I wasn't good enough. Or if he's protecting himself from me, it's because there's something wrong with me. So really looking at what you're still carrying shadow and shame about and doing forgiveness work is going to help propel you from forward through this block. Who or what should I release from the past to move on? Jesus Christ. Oh my God, I don't want to do this reading. A specific iteration of divine masculine energy who you associate with your twin flame. This is the Two of Wands and the King of Pentacles. Fuck! I feel the frustration here because I'm living the frustration of this. It's like, fine. You know what? Fine. Whatever specific iteration, whatever specific thing, you need to just let it go. You just need to let it go. The rabbit is here. There's this fertility thing going on, and there's other stuff on this side of the spread, and there might be like, I don't know, there's maybe like on this journey right now, like divine masculine has been too fertile, and there's a third party energy coming in, and you're going to have to keep waiting. So if you don't want to be feeling like you're left in the cold waiting on this divine masculine energy that's not acting, then you have to just move on, because this wait is not going to go away. You have to stop waiting for this person. Stop waiting for them. Stop. And I'm going to rewatch this myself, and that's who I'm telling, stop waiting for them. All right. What can I learn from this current pause? The Lover's card in the head space and the Eight of Cups in the heart space. You can learn to walk away and choose to love yourself. Because while this is an abundant king, this is a king with a huge ego who will not do anything to risk his reputation. He's very concerned with everything he has, and he has a lot, and he looks like he got a little more. And that's what's in these cups, right? There's those 2 cups you want. That's your cup, though. And here's all the shit that you need to leave behind. So you got to go. That's what you're learning. You're learning how to go, how to let that go. And not in a way that's like running or cutting or painful, but in a way that is loving, in a way that's like, okay, babe, you really put me in a situation where I have to make a decision to walk away from you because you have brought me nothing at this point but a sense that I'm not good enough. And I know that's not true now. And because I know that that is not true, I can't wait for you because no one who is worthy needs to wait for somebody to figure out that they are. And so you're learning to love yourself. What can I look forward to once the obstacle is removed? Wow, this is hard. The Four of Swords, which is grief. The Two of Coins, which is choices. And the Tower. And we already saw that tower. We saw it looming here. We saw this tower looming in the general energy and the victory over this king who will not take action. You can expect, first of all, maintaining your own silence. Do not communicate with a specific iteration in any way, shape, or form. That's for sure. Rest, healing, grief over the 3 swords because there is a lot of heartbreak here. But you got 2 cards in your heart space. So you have basically, you will be waiting in silence, healing your heart, healing the grief you feel over this loss of this person that you really wanted to be able to step up but could not reflect your energy back. And a huge transition, a huge move. So you're going to have a huge decision to make. And in this image, this woman is balancing her child. And this is like a child that is like a bear. So this is like her financial, like the things she creates that will bring her abundance. And then this is like her child itself. So balancing these 2 things while making a huge transition and kind of going through this grief and loss. And so we're going to go through your oracles to give you some help because that's a really difficult kind of energy. So we're not going to end here, but let's go look at Divine Masculine, even though I would rather die. Oh, fuck. I gotta get my ego out. Holy shit. I'm burning some sage. Like, I literally need to do that, I think. I think I need to do that. Because I feel a lot of distress over this reading. So I guess I know why some people get trigger warnings on their readings. Okay. Divine Masculine, top of the deck, overall headspace and heart space for you. The general energy surrounding your obstacle is the 3 of Cups and the Queen of Cups in reverse. So there's a lot of layers here. For some, The divine masculine has an unexpected new life that's coming into the world. Um, like, wasn't careful in the third party energy and now has another Queen of Cups energy. Like, this is of course the mother energy, but it's in reverse. So it's the third party that is potentially a mother of a child of divine masculine. So for some in the collective, there is that. For others, it is a continuation of the same story. There was already an ex wife or a mother, a baby mama, whatever, and there was already children. And the general energy surrounding divine masculine's block is this past family. That's for some. For others, there is new life, though. Um, so this overly overprotective, overbearing, over emotional, reactive energy is also an issue for divine masculine right now. It's not just like there is this feminine energy that is like this. We're looking at his own energy. So he is overly emotional. He's being extremely emotionally manipulative, like really a lot. He's being emotionally manipulated by someone. And so then he's pushing that out and emotionally manipulating the fuck out of the divine feminine, which is what's got her here doing it. What the fuck are these tiny little gestures that equal nothing to me, that leave me here out in the cold? So divine feminine is also feeling overprotective of her heart, overly emotional. So you can see how all the energy around him is reflecting back to him his own distorted maternal energy. So the fact that this maternal energy is still not healed, that's why when we go over to divine feminine side and we're like, what can she do to release this harsh judgment of herself, which has her crying all up in her readings this morning? It says, babes, you just gotta stop dragging your feet and fucking heal the distorted feminine energy inside of yourself. And you're like, how do I do that? And you're like, you have to do subconscious work. And then when you interact externally, you have to do the external things that you're trying to do internally. If you're trying to integrate a divine feminine energy to heal your own distorted energy, then you need to integrate the feminine energy who is hanging outside here in the cold. So the general energy is very reflective of the energy over here. Here's the block for divine masculine. And when I saw this card today, I was like, so irritated. We have this Knight of Swords upright, but it's a block. So we're functioning in its shadow because it's blocking him. So we're not looking at the integrity. We're not looking at the truth right now. We're not looking at, the ability to communicate. We're looking at this guy on this motorcycle who thinks he's a fucking badass, right? And with his switchblade here. Okay. And then we're looking at the moon in reverse, which I love that they use these trees here for the towers in this image. And the moon is, of course, about secrets, things that are being hidden, etc. And it's in its reverse, and we're seeing the guy who reveals secrets. So his block is he's so worried about appearing cool and appearing like a badass that he doesn't want to come forward and actually reveal these things. He's like at war. This is where he's stuck. He's stuck between these 2 points, knowing he has to tell the truth, but the truth is going to hurt. He's got a switchblade. It's gonna hurt you. And he doesn't want you to look at him as anything but like this cool badass, like rides a motorcycle and saves you. But the truth is, like, you don't need him to like show up and show you that he's not cool. Like, you know it. You're like, I know the way I've been treated is not cool. So you can worry about how cool you look all you want, but like your actions speak louder than your words. So you already have lost this cool thing for the divine feminine. She's like, Bitch. Thank you. She's driving away. She's like, I gotta go. This shit isn't cool. This is toxic. This is toxic for me this way in this permutation. So divine masculine's block is the thing that is actually divine feminine's block too. He's leaving her alone. He's staying on his own, leaving her alone, not choosing her cup, playing with all these other ones. Yep. That's what this type of energy is feeling like. And this is also this James Dean energy, just like there's that recklessness. It's like a rebel. My dad used to always say rebel without a clue. And that's what the divine masculine feels like right now. He's like rebelling against what he wants. It's so fucking stupid. I'm sorry. I can't get my ego out of it right now. Like, you fucking idiot. Really? That's how divine feminine feels. The recklessness. And just doing it over and over and over and over and over and over, like never stopping, never ending. God. Ugh. So let's fucking remove this block. Jesus. Sorry, divine masculine. Having a day. All right. What past experience? No, wrong thing. Where did this block originate? We're getting the 9 of Swords in reverse and the 5 of Wands in reverse. So interesting. The 9 of Swords is about our fears, anxieties, worries. It's about being kept up at night, not being able to sleep, being so anxious all the time. And the 5 of Wands is about fighting, battling, struggling. It ends up being a struggle against the self, but there's usually like too many parties, like too many people involved. So I guess the block of, well, it's interesting because the block is for divine masculine to tell the truth about himself. He's feeling stuck in between that energy because he's afraid to tell the truth about himself. And so it's like it's sort of a repeating this. The obstacle, where did it originate? It originated in the unblocking. It originated in maybe the first steps towards revealing what actually happened. So maybe divine masculine has made some kind of gestures that honestly I think are confusing or something to the divine feminine, but these first like hints, this first unblocking, this first opening up of information, this is seemed to have caused the divine feminine to realize divine masculine is like not cool at all. Did not handle this well. And so I think that first initial response divine feminine has had, which we see over on her side, is like interesting because her response over here isn't like, I don't like the divine masculine energy. Her response is the divine masculine energy is continuing to do nothing. And that must be because something's wrong with me. And so that made her go in and look at herself and try to figure out, is it me? Like, is it like I'm the reason that, and so she's not even really focused on if he's not cool or not. She's just like, I got to let this person go because they make me feel this way, because this is this cycle that keeps happening. So it's interesting that divine masculine was afraid that divine feminine, as he's trying to reveal these things to her, that she's like, he's not cool. She's just like, he's just not saying anything. He's not doing anything. And he was not going to, I think. So like, I gotta go, man. So let's look at what he is learning in this current pause. No, that's not what this placement is. Why do I keep doing that? How is this block currently manifesting in the 3D? Oh my God. The 4 of Cups in the head space and death in reverse in the heart space. And then what did we see over here for divine feminine? We saw divine feminine seeing masculine energy as playing with all these little cups and not choosing hers, being so interested in all this fucking shit and not even giving a shit about this. That's how divine feminine feels. And then we have divine masculine thinking of divine feminine, and there's all these empty cups. So this is all the things that he wants to be able to offer this divine feminine. So, but we're in the Four of Cups, which is a pause. Nothing's happening. And this rebirth is not taking place. We're awaiting it. So the fact that now he's unblocked and he can come forward, and the things he was worried about and afraid of really aren't going to pose a problem. Now he has to actually do it. And he's afraid because the little bit of information he revealed seems to have put divine feminine into a bit of a tailspin. But what divine masculine doesn't realize is the tailspin isn't about the information. It's about how the information was delivered, or about how confusing the information is, or about how it's not a direct communication, or about how there's no sign of action. So that's what put divine feminine in tailspin. It's not what he said. She's like, honestly, if my divine masculine said, hey, I knocked somebody up, I would be like, great. Well, that's going to be fun for you to deal with and for us to deal with now. Like, that's what he's afraid of, right? Her being like, okay, I forgive you. Obviously, you're an idiot, but like, what are you going to do? If that happens, that means the love is unconditional. Divine masculine's not ready for it, or it would be happening. That transformation still hasn't taken place. He's resisting the rebirth. These fears and things he was worried about, they're not blocking him anymore, but he's not doing anything, which means it's him that's resisting. He's staying in this fate. He would prefer that divine feminine have this fantasy of him. It's funny because the thing that for me, from my ego, from my personal experience, what my divine masculine thinks I want is like, no, no, that's not what I find cool about him. Like, I would not find that this is not the type of dude. I would not be like, oh my God, every day of my life. Like, maybe one time. But that's not the energy that I need from this masculine. It's totally different what turns me on or what makes me excited or interested in this person. It's not what he thinks. This is so true about us all. This is our energy. So what I think that my person thinks is cool, that's not what they think is cool about me. That's what my ego thinks is cool about myself, or what cool is, or whatever. So interesting. Okay. What will help remove it? We are getting the Five of Cups upright, and we are getting this Six of Pentacles in reverse. So we have progression here. 4, 5, 6. From 4 to 5. Now, this doesn't look like it would be helpful. The divine feminine is very sad about something. She's very, very distraught. There are these 2 cups here spilled on the floor. There's this 1 cup spilling now. And there are these 2 cups here with olives in them, which, I fucking love olives. This like gin, like a dry gin martini with like extra olives. C'est magnifique for me. Okay. So I would be into that. Okay. This 5 of Cups that I chose today is not one where the person is staring down at the cups that have spilled in sadness and not paying attention to the cups behind them. We are seeing a divine feminine who is looking pretty, like overwhelmed. It looks like she's experiencing every emotion here. And I think what will help remove it is for divine masculine to be optimistic that even though he has done something that is just really stupid, and it looks a lot like this thing here. Even though this is going to make divine feminine cry, be upset, feel hurt and feel wounded. This is very valuable to her, and she's not going to let it go. So he can be optimistic that while this is going to be very difficult for her to understand why he didn't reciprocate, why the reciprocation has taken so long, why it is still imbalanced. It is going to make her feel distraught, but the information ultimately will keep her from doing what this side of the reading is telling her to do. This side of the reading is saying, look, if you don't hear from this person, go. Go. If they do not communicate with you, go. Walk away. Don't run away. Walk away. There's a different energy there, right? Running away is fear. Walking away is worthiness. So if this side of the reading is like, if you don't communicate, she doesn't have another choice, right? She doesn't have another choice. She has to juggle her life. She can't wait for you. And it's not fair to expect it. So if you can take heart in the fact that this is going to upset her, whatever information you have is going to be so upsetting. The reciprocation itself will help progress from the 4 to the 5 to the 6. Who or what should I release from my past to move on? Here's the King of Cups upright in the head space and the Hanged Man upright in the heart space. And we saw the Hanged Man already on Monday, and it's back again. The King of Cups is wonderful, but he knows it, and he doesn't communicate. He doesn't express. And he just sits there and kind of waits for things to be brought to him. He's got the entitlement of the emperor, kind of. And because he knows he's a good man, he gives himself a lot of room, wiggle room around some of the rules. It's like, yeah, but you know I did that, baby. Like, I just want to be good. Like, I'm a good person. Okay. But you're not doing good things. And the Hanged Man energy is, of course, suspending yourself, holding yourself back. So he needs to release this tendency to hold himself back from communication, particularly communicating his emotions. There might be drinking also that he needs to release. What can I learn from this current pause? Oh, no shit. So Divine Feminine, she got the 8 of Cups and the Lovers, which was walk away and love herself, to choose to love herself, because waiting for somebody to love her is keeping her from experiencing true self-love, right? And Divine Masculine, what he can learn from this current pause is the 6 of Cups and the Lovers in reverse. He is learning how to release the past lovers, the resistance to union, commitment issues. He is able to reunite with this counterpart that he longs to be with. This is what he is learning from this current pause. How to release the past, how to come into sacred union with your divine counterpart. What can I look forward to once the obstacle is removed? Divine Masculine, you also got 2 cards, but you got 2 cards in your head space, while Divine Feminine got 2 in her heart space. You got the World and the High Priestess. This is completing a cycle of integrating the Divine Feminine, balancing the Divine Feminine to the Divine Masculine energy inside of self. This is learning how to have everything that you've put in what your recipe is for a wonderful life. It's intuiting all of those things and being able to see a material fulfillment of them. And then we are getting the Ace of Cups in reverse in the heart space, which for me is being able to fully express what is in your cup. We have so many images of cups pouring out. There's more, but you want to be able to express, you want to be able to come into sacred union. You want to pour out the poison in your cup and offer only that love that's in the cup. That's what you have to look forward to if you can release your tendency to hold yourself back from emotional expression. I'm exhausted. It's so hard for me to be optimistic. Like, I feel like today I'm just going to be like, well, I guess I got to block them. I just don't want to. It sucks. God damn it. All right, let's look at the oracles. Divine Feminine, you are in the light attributes of the Avenger energy right now, which is a desire to balance the scales of justice and righteousness on behalf of society or oneself. There might be some travel coming up for you in the near future. Divine Feminine, I think you just really desire justice, and you are so unwilling to settle. You are willing to balance the scales. You're willing to look inside of yourself and see what it is that you need to shift or change. But you do have a sense of righteousness for what's going on right now. You're like, listen, I know I'm in the right. I'm absolutely in the right to walk away from this. I can't believe there's any other expectation that I wouldn't. Heaven is watching over you. You're getting this again. So I think you really need this security and comfort and nurturing of that divine feminine energy. You're as protected. And of course, I'm with my own child right now. So that feeling I have over my own child and wanting him to have a good experience, and that knowing that there is this energy that hovers over me in that same way, in that protective way. When I lean on certainty and faith, I change my mind about the world I see. So, Divine Feminine, when you walk away, you know that you walk away towards something better. That's all. You know that. Your higher calling, if you have faith and trust in it, it's going to change the world. You're not going to see a divine masculine energy who's comfortable with these vague, hurtful messages, frankly, that you get. And so, if you can just have that faith and trust that these messages that you get, if you rely on them with certainty, if you really understand that you can handle and you want this transformation, it looks scary. It's death and the tower and like this, this Two of Pentacles, this is dancing back and forth. This is like not an easy energy, but it is here that you up level. It's here that you move to the point where you can finally have what it is that you want. So have faith that you can handle this. Heaven is watching over you. You're being cradled by the divine energy through what is coming. And it is going to be a major transition. But if you can just lean on your certainty and faith, this world that you see that you don't like, this way that you're being treated that you don't like, that will be transformed. Good luck. Divine Feminine, this is a wheel of fortune. There is a sense here that there's change that is coming, and it is profound change, and it is really going to be good for you. And you're just being told, like, don't resist it. Really put this king down. Do it today. Don't wait. Don't wait. Do it today. You need clarity about your situation, divine feminine. You're a little bit cloudy right now. There's a confusion about how do I what's the difference between running away and walking away? How can I be certain that I'm walking away with confidence towards my higher calling versus running away from something I'm afraid of working out? So you want to get some clarity about that. I would suggest like journaling, maybe writing, doing some meditating, and just asking for clarity about what the right path for you is. You're willing to follow this higher calling towards this sacred union. You're willing to do this, and you just need clarity about the path. Be bold and make the first move. This is definitely a countering energy to the King of Wands that will not act. If you act today, if you make some kind of a move, and this is not chasing, begging, ask if there's any hint of that in it, it is not the right move. This is more about making the first move, stepping away from this connection. If you want to remove this obstacle, then this particular divine masculine energy must make a bold move to step away from it. This is a rite of passage. Now, rite of passages are very, very painful, right? They usually involve some kind of a physical pain. They involve fear, they involve tower moments, but we come out of that dark night of the soul and we go through that doorway into the light, and it's uh, an up leveling. We've got cat spirit, claim independence, and dog spirit, which is be loyal to what you love. I just wrote down yesterday when I did my morning pages, do I love you only, or do I love myself? Do I love you only, or do I love myself? I just wrote that over and over. I couldn't answer it because it seems like the only things I was doing was because I loved you. And if I loved myself, I probably wouldn't do any of those things. I probably would not wait. If I'm loyal to what I love and who I love is myself, then I will not endure this any longer. That's where divine feminine is right now. And it's so interesting to get both cat and dog spirit, as these are both the companions of humans. And divine feminine doesn't want to be alone. That's the card in reverse in her heart space. And I actually just got approval from my apartment to have a pet. So I'm getting a dog. I will walk away, but I will have a dog with me. So I won't be alone. And I'll have myself, that independence. So divine feminine, claim your independence from this masculine and do it now. Divine masculine, you're in the shadow energy of the companion, which is precisely why divine feminine needed the cat and dog spirit in her oracle today to show her that she is her own companion, because the masculine energy right now is not in it. Divine masculine, you are in the you have engaged in betrayal by misusing confidences and a loss of personal identity. And you need to call in the light. You need to be loyal, tenacious, and unselfish. So divine masculine is really fucked up. He's really done something. He has betrayed them. He's betrayed their union, which is why divine feminine needs to claim independence from this energy, because he is unhealed. The distorted feminine is very strong in him, and it just doesn't look good right now. Here's Saint Mother Teresa in her activist energy helping you to take action, to change, to become loyal, to become tenacious and unselfish about the union, to stop denying yourself this union. So, Divine Feminine, the Divine Feminines that are watching this reading and seeing this as the masculine energy only, we have to go in and reflect, how are we doing this in our lives? Like, I didn't get anyone pregnant, but that I know of. But and I don't have a third party energy at all. I'm in my hermit energy, I'm alone. But what is my third party energy? What is the thing that I'm trying to look cool about? What is the thing that I'm really sort of afraid to be honest about right now? What am I failing to express? What isn't it that I'm saying? I know in terms of staying in fantasy and resisting transformation, I'm not letting this situation die. I'm not letting it die. I'm just like holding out for this wonderful cup, even though all the evidence before has shown me that this probably isn't really going to happen. So, and betrayal, I think loss of personal identity would be for me how I would apply this. Do I only love you or do I love myself? Right? So don't forget this is about your energy. And this activism that needs to take place is also for you. So when you need to take this action and just be bold and make this action, this Saint Mother Teresa is there to help you with this. I also find it very interesting that Divine Masculine got the Queen of Cups in reverse, which is a mothering card, and the Mother in reverse here. So there needs to be action taken to heal those mother wounds. I was joking about them on Monday, but they're here. And Divine Feminine has them too. This is where they are in union. This is that trauma bond. In any moment, I can surrender to the powerful presence of love through prayer, contemplation, and stillness. So, in any moment, Divine Masculine, you can receive this healing. In Catholicism, it's 9:44 right now on my clock. In Catholicism, when you receive your absolution after the sacrament of reconciliation, you are clean, you are pure again. You have only to ask, and then you are made whole again. That is the power of unconditional love from that higher power. And you can access it in any moment. Just surrender to that presence of love, be still, and receive it. Here's prosperity here for you. You have everything you could possibly desire right in front of you. And you're just looking at it. Balance your spirituality with practicality. Stop staying in that Four of Cups energy. Ground it. Come on down to the planet Earth. You wanted to incarnate here, so come on in. The water's fine. This answer the call is in reverse. There's an emphasis here. What is your soul calling you to do? Your soul is calling you to tell the truth, even though you're afraid to look stupid, even though you're afraid to look like an asshole. That's what you're being called to do. Answer the call. Stop resisting it. And then we're getting Dragonfly Spirit in reverse, which is the protection message. Truth transcends illusion. The first thing I'm called to think of is that my Divine Masculine thinks he's been so clever and hidden so much. And you can't hide it. Truth transcends the illusion. It's like Divine Feminine might not have known the details of what was going on, but she knew the feelings of it. And it was the same. It was virtually as if she had known already. Did you really think this world of the senses is all there is? From the hidden mystical realm, signs are being sent to you, but perhaps you've perceived separation and convinced yourself that you are on your own. Have you fallen into spiritual amnesia and forgotten your connection to a living, loving, always supportive universe? If so, rub the sleep out of your eyes, for Dragonfly Spirit is here to remind you of all the love and support available to you in every moment. There is an organizing principle underlying the events you have experienced, and Dragonfly Spirit can help you see it and trust that Spirit has your back. Let go of the illusion of chaos and randomness. Love is here. So follow the signs that appear serendipitously as you pay attention to the magic all around you. You will know you are on the right track. That's the 22 card, which is also, I think, around when the full moon is this month. All right, let's look at the cards in union. I think it's interesting that the garbage truck is here and annoying. And it coincides with the Divine Masculine song for today, being a song called Debris by the band Faces, about how this masculine energy leaves the divine feminine out on the debris. And it's just triggering me to remember that song right now. All right, to the divine couple. You are both in the shadow attributes of the shapeshifter. This is projecting any image that serves your personal agenda in the moment. This is social media. You're in shadow right now because you are just using social media to project an image of yourself, um, any image that serves your agenda towards one another. So you're using it to emotionally manipulate one another. You need to come into the light, which is a skill at navigating through different levels of consciousness and the ability to see the potential in everything. So you need to be able to, instead of relying on this fake presentation of yourselves, you need to directly communicate. And Divine Feminine, I can feel you because my own ego is like, how? If you can't directly communicate with Divine Masculine, if he has given you no way to communicate with him that would be safe and secure and received and responded to in any way, you already know what you're supposed to do. You release that Divine Masculine. You are not supposed to communicate at this point anyway. But you are to be open to receiving communication from the masculine energy. Just don't try to receive it from the social media, because this is what he's doing in social media. He's like, I'm a cool badass. Fuck you. You are not. You are a scared little child with distorted mothering energy going on, making you act a fool. That's the truth. That truth transcends your illusion. If you were put together, you wouldn't have to pretend you were. That was a quote from my DM from childhood. I happen to have known that from his mother, who told me years ago, in the context of some other conversation, that when he was young, he was listening to a commercial and he said, if this thing was so good, they wouldn't have to try to sell it to me or whatever. I don't know the exact phrasing anymore, but like that's his own, from his own mouth as a child. If the truth, if this truth is so good, you wouldn't need to package it like that. So it's your own unworthiness that's making you feel like you have to package yourself up in a way that is an illusion. And Divine Feminine sees right through the illusion and is just disappointed because she doesn't care about the trappings. Divine Feminine already loves the essence of you. And there's no amount of costume that's going to like hide the things she already knows. But the things she already knows don't keep her from loving you. It's your own abuse towards yourself that causes you to abuse her. And she can't see that as you being a shitty person. She just sees that as you being an unhealed one. And she loves you just the same. But she loves herself to the point where she has to choose herself. Because otherwise, you'll just keep engaging in this dynamic. Why? Because the inner child. There's also some kind of a child energy here. There is an outside energy of a child, very strong, coming in. For me also, it's about my child will have to leave soon if I don't come up with another solution. So it can be about focusing on your children, about how important children are in this union, about the inner child. abandonment and anxious attachment sort of wounds I feel that need to be healed. I do whatever it takes to get closer to consciousness. This is important. Getting closer to consciousness is the true goal. The true goal isn't to be in physical union. It's not. It's to be in spiritual union with the divine. And you need to do whatever it takes to get closer to that. Once you achieve this, you can have what you want in the material. But what you want in the material becomes less significant when you realize how fulfilling this connection really is with the divine. Here's friendship. This is third party energy, though. This is this awareness that there will always be this outside energy in this union because of mistakes that have happened in the past. And there needs to be this embracing of it and a celebrating of all of it, no less. Like, this is extended family. These are opportunities for lessons to be learned, karmic lessons, etc., which help us to do whatever it takes to get closer to consciousness. This is also about your own friendship. If you acted more friendly, if Divine Masculine treated you more as a friend than he actually does, I think he claimed friendship at some point and really has never treated you like one. And Divine Feminine, I think you also have engaged in that, like not really treating him like a friend either. But you're like, I don't want to be friends. I want to be more than friends, and being fixated on that instead of just being in a lot of bliss and gratitude for the friendship that is potentially there, which is more important than the romantic connection. Because what's important is getting closer to consciousness. And you do that through love and friendship. Adjustments are required for the both of you. You're getting break the chain, ancestral patterns, healing, and rewriting the future. So you are breaking these ancestral patterns. They're very difficult. This distorted maternal energy has traveled a long chain of pain. And you're breaking the chain, which means that your children aren't going to receive the same kind of education that you received in terms of harmony and relationships. And then you're getting koi fish spirit in reverse. There is always enough. So you just have to really trust in that. There is always enough. There's enough love here. There's enough time. There's everything you possibly could need. You have within reach around you. You have all the resources that you need to be able to create something very beautiful. All right. Let's get some energy to close out the reading. These are the things that we can do just for today. Usually I say minor things. This was kind of a major reading though, so I don't know what sort of energy we're going to get, but the little things that we can do just today that will help us remove this obstacle or deal with the grief maybe that's coming up when looking at these obstacles. I'm feeling exhaustion here on my part. This isn't the deck I want, the Lebowski deck. Somehow I have to produce music today. Great. Love that for me. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for joining me. If you could so kindly click like, subscribe, and share my channel to help it grow, that would be really wonderful. You can go to pearlsprayers.com to book a reading, a personal reading. There's a few different options there. Don't be intimidated by the price. I do offer discounts. You can just DM me if you think you need one. There's going to be a form on the site soon that lets you put in it's because it's really a suggested donation amount. So once that form is up, you can just put in what you're comfortable with donating at this time, or if you're fine with the donation that's there, you can go ahead and book. And my availability is really opened up, so there's a lot of options for you to be able to get readings and work with me in different capacities. Pearlsprayers.com. And also my single is out. It's Me Babe, and it's really lovely, so please listen to it. Feeling emotion from the divine feminine side. All right, let's take a look. Divine feminine, here's what you need to do today to remove your obstacle. You are interestingly getting the snake. Competition, enemy, clever, malicious, look over your shoulder, and the other woman. And you're getting talking, interested, conversing more, awaited message arrives, text, call, email, and hoovering. You're getting mice. The robber mice take your treasure. Inside the house they steal with pleasure. Hope's not foregone when this card is near. Once the mice are gone, you regain what is dear. And there is 7 wands there. And then the cross. A cross weaves pain, historically sad. A distance too close means tidings are bad. Suffering increases when the cross is near, but burdens can lift if you persevere. And you're getting the 6 of wands, which is here. So divine feminine. It looks like you have a painful situation right now. It might be helpful to talk or to converse more with someone that you really care about. Honestly, if you see a therapist and you can get in today, that might be good. I don't, so wish I did. But talking about what's going on will actually help you, and really understanding that there is someone inside the house that is trying to interfere, and it is causing pain. But these burdens will lift, and these mice will go. And if you stand your ground against these fears and anxieties that have come up for you, you will see liberation from whoever's trying to steal. There's this energy that's trying to steal your victory. And it's not going to work because you are already victorious and it's your own personal victory. It's like even if somebody came and delayed divine masculine, it wouldn't matter. You have achieved the ability to receive the reflection of your energy. So you will receive that soulmate energy from someone. So it's not going to be successful, however this snake-like energy is functioning. But there is something, and you might also receive some kind of information about it today. And you just have to take heart that's like whatever you're told, if you get this information, like there is someone else, don't let it feel like it's going to take away your victory. Once the mice are gone, you regain what is dear. So once you can get through these fears, or once you face these fears or hear this information, or if you are in the situation where you're being hoovered, which is the masculine energy keeps dangling this carrot and sucking you back in type of thing. Once you really like step away from that, even though it's going to be pretty painful to do that, your happiness, that victory that you keep having is not going to be stolen anymore. Because what happens is you get these messages from the masculine that take away your belief that things are going to work out all right. His own fears, his own anxiety, the snake energy in his life that causes him issues or whatever, he puts that out on you. And that is causing you to waver in your own victory. It causes you to fear to take action, to move away, to move on, because you keep being sucked in by him. So understand that once you stop allowing this him to rob you of your victory by inserting his fears, once you stand your ground against his fears and at this crossroads and put your faith and trust, look at this is here too. This is put your faith in God, your certainty and faith in God. And don't let this other outside energy steal what you know is true. Don't the talk that you're hearing about it, the words that you're hearing about it, none of that. Just don't let it take away your victory from you. You can persevere. Divine Masculine. Wait, let's do this in the right order. That was the right order. I'm going to stop. You were getting date, meeting someone new, dating, getting back out there, planning or setting a date. And you are getting lightning, sudden change, shocking news, surprise, epiphany, upheaval, and transformation. You are getting the 10 of Swords, and you are getting the 10 of Pentacles in reverse. Divine Masculine, it looks like you need to end the separation or reveal your betrayal. Reveal that you met someone new, that something happened. Reveal this shocking news. Finally communicate what has kept you stuck, what has prevented you from being able to give this offer of material well-being and this 10 of Pentacles that you've been wanting to give. This is maybe setting a date to talk to the Divine Feminine, who over here is probably going to be receiving that information about the snake that has prevented the union. But if Divine Feminine can stand her ground, she will be victorious over this energy. But it looks like Divine Masculine, if you follow the energy of the reading today, that you would actually talk to the Divine Feminine. And I would say, like it says, plan a date or set a date. I think it is. You need to do it today, because my sense right now is the feminine energy has been told you need to let go of an energy that doesn't take action. So if no action is taken today, it's going to be even more difficult for you to get through. Like you're either going to be blocked from communication that you have now, or, Divine Feminine will have chosen another energy and moved on. So it is really important, Divine Masculine, that you reveal this shocking news finally to Divine Feminine in a way that is respectful of her. Because I'm telling you right now, if you send me another fucking song, I can't even finish that statement. I will just explode. It won't be good. All right, the bottom of the deck for the union is the Knight of Swords upright, which was the obstacle for Divine Masculine. And it is for Divine Feminine, the 17, the stork, the 17th keeps coming up, people. So something about that date. A stork in flight promises delight. A stork in range signals change. Progress heals pain drawn from the past. Embrace kindness and new friendships will last. Divine Feminine, the stork is about something new. A stork in flight promises delight. A stork in range signals change. So Divine Feminine's block has to do with healing her pain about her feelings of unworthiness that are triggered by Divine Masculine's lack of communication or forward movement. And in between both of you is the Golden Mirror, which is the self-absorbed narcissist, one-sided relationship, and love bombing. So there is a narcissistic, distorted energy that is happening between the both of you. And it's the thing that needs to be overcome. And it is, of course, a mirror, right? You're reflecting energy back and forth. So you have to go within and figure out how you engage in those behaviors inside of yourself and heal them. This was a bummer of a reading. Sorry about it. I think I will put a trigger warning on it. Thank you for joining me. I will be back on Friday to do the release and rebuild spread. And then on Sunday on Instagram Live, I will be with Grace Strega, usually around noon Pacific time, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, for divine masculine feminine check-in, and then we do answer personal questions. We pull cards for you live on Sunday. So I hope I will see you there. Take care. Have a great day today.